I also wanted to spend a little bit of time and talk about roles through like what we're doing. Horn players, your job is melody and solos, and being aware. I think it's particularly. I played trombone for a long time, and was standing up there. It can be difficult sometimes to know when to play, not when not to play. Mostly melody at the beginning, melody at the end, and then whatever it's your solo. That's kind of the thing. Everybody else gets to play the whole time because you guys have chops. And so what the conventions of all of us playing a lot of notes the entire time is so that you can rest. If you're a trumpet player or a horn player, you're okay, cool. I'm standing out here. If you want backgrounds at some point, maybe every once in a while, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it on every tune, and I wouldn't do it more than once on any tune.
Meaning somebody playing something melodically behind the soloist.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do it for an instrument that is quieter than you. If you're playing like thirds and sevenths would be a great background for stuff, but if there's a trumpet player or another horn player, third and seventh maybe, when they're like really, when they're in fourth gear and making a lot of noise and feeling like the height of the solo, that's a great time for it. But otherwise, for a guitar player, you're just going to bury them, and it can be confusing for everybody. Oh, are we going back to the head, or what's going on here? And it can be difficult roadmap wise. We have enough guitar players here that we all could probably like maybe take 2 choruses each from a comping standpoint.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, having less guitar comping over each other would probably benefit the overall sound in the room. Mm-hmm. Like, guys, you guys can work it out. Like, you take the first 2, you take the next 2, right? Whatever, rotate it around or switch every one, whatever you guys want to do.
Me included.
Yeah.
Me included.
Yeah.
If a guitar player and I are on the gig and I'm playing keys, then my job is to be like, yo, man, how are we doing this? So neither of us are playing against each other.
And you can even, like we were saying, like, chord players laying out or whatever. Like, think about how many bands can you think of that have a guitar player and a piano player? There are some. They're not very many. And the reason is that as soon as you start adding extensions to the harmony, your extensions might not match his extensions. And now all of a sudden things are going, right? And so the groups where you do find guitar and piano, they work it out with each other, at least to some degree, with the voicings that they're using and the registers that they're in. There's usually it's not a slapdash thing. It's usually something a little more, maybe ranged isn't quite the right word, but at least something that is definitely handled with kid gloves and sort of
there was a conversation.
Discussed, yeah.
What are you exactly? Are you playing that a flat 9? Is that a flat 9 chord there?
Yeah.
I'm playing. No, I'm playing sharp 11 on this one. And
right. Right. Because if you're playing sharp 9 or flat 9, and he's playing, sharp 9, all of a sudden things are like tense. It sounds like, even though nothing is wrong, it sounds very dissonant because those extensions are dissonant. That's the point of them, is they're dissonant. Too many cooks.
Yep. And the other part of this, for all of it, and one thing that as we're doing this more, we're finding that going to give you a bit more playing time through these tunes is to be who's soloing. Who's soloing, who's next, who's coming next, and getting used to just jumping in when, oh, it's mine. Somebody else who's not as confident will back off provided you're playing it. I always think about playing a tune as everybody's getting in the same boat and we're fording the river. Trying to get across the river. Everybody's got an oar in their hand and we're all just getting across the river. If you're really listening to the solo that's going on, you'll know we're at the bridge. You'll know that we're at the A again. And then when it gets back, when you're about 8 bars away from the top of the form, you're like, am I going next? Did I already play? Who's next? Looking around, seeing if anybody's getting ready to go. And as there are more horns and you're in certain kinds of band, you can be like, okay, well, we have 3 guitars here. Maybe not guitar, as the arrangement's concerned. That could be a little bit redundant feeling. I remember early in playing jazz, for me, that was terrifying. It was like that like, okay, I'm next, I'm gonna go for it. That gets easier. Yeah, we just kind of gotta get used to doing it. And so much of that is just keeping your spot and deciding that you're next. And, man, eye contact. I'm facing the wrong way now, but if all of you are looking around being like, yeah, like somebody look around and somebody, like, I'm next, I got this kind of thing, can be that much more helpful.
That's like another level of
playing,
being in a room.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, and that stuff gets easier the more you do it. You get to have those realizations and experiences in real time rather than let's just talk about it theoretically and hopefully you go to a jam session and that works itself out. So we're like, oh yeah, let's play through it. Hey, think about this and think about that. If you're not sure what to do, listen more and like lay out. There's a lot of times that I've in recent years kind of been like, and stopped playing as a piano player, which is terrifying as a piano player. And all of a sudden there was this completely different arrangement that happened because there was space and like, oh wait, oh that's what these guys were doing. I went back to some recordings and there's a bunch of guys that like, in the beginning of solos, they're playing once every 4 bars. They're not hitting every corner, they're not hitting every measure. They're like, oh yeah, the soloist is taking care of the harmony. I don't need to play anything. I'll throw something in occasionally, and then as they start playing more notes, I can maybe add some stuff in. But all that stuff comes from experimentation and deciding to do anything, and then finding out how that choice was in that moment. Because man, I've also done that, and it was the wrong choice. But yeah, so much of it is trial and error. So
How do you feel about just us talking in advance and saying, okay, you're going to take the first one, then you, then me. We're going to go around in order.
I think can be easier to organize. I think that it becomes very helpful for that single time and less helpful for how most of jazz happens. Like it would feel to me like a crutch that then you go to the jam session and nobody does that. And if you do that in most circles in jazz, people will be like, well, I mean, okay, but like.
To that point, 100% yes and 100% yes.
Of course, yeah, I'm down.
Because, I mean, theoretically, we're doing both, right?
Sure. Yeah, we got.
We need some crutches sometimes.
My next statement was going to be, let's try it. So,
I mean, the whole point of the shed here is to make it as realistic as possible without all the negative attitude that usually comes with you know, jazz. I mean, I hate to say it, but it usually comes with jam sessions are vibey. It's one of the reasons why I don't really go to them, because it's not really all that fun, quite frankly. So around here, like that's the thing that I feel like that I'm always focused on making sure we eliminate is any kind of like jerky, you know.
bad vibe.
I don't want to play music with butt heads. Nobody wants to play music with butt heads. Other than that, let's all be nice and work it out. Like,
Let's play it one more time. Who wants to take the first solo?